Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Changing Room Thoughts. If you're new here, I'm Karina, and this podcast is for anyone who's ever had a critical thought about clothes or self-expression. Today, happy Monday morning. I hope you're enjoying this little bit of art and creativity on your way to work or wherever you are in the world. By the way, if you've been enjoying the Changing Room Thoughts episodes and want to engage in dialogue, I have a Discord server, and I have to say it's poppin'. So check out the link in the description if you want to talk about fashion or whatever. With that being said, today we obviously have a very special guest. It is none other than my nail tech. Her name is Leyla, and she is incredibly talented. We're in her studio today, and if you guys are looking for a one-of-a-kind, unique, Pinterest-worthy manicure that is done with technical precision, you have to check out Nail Fairy. There's one in Manhattan and one in Brooklyn. I'll link the details below. But I'm really excited to introduce you guys to Leyla today because she is so interesting. Besides creating these artistic pieces of manicure beauty, she really interests me as a businesswoman. Her life story, she's from Uzbekistan, she DJs, she's just kind of a Renaissance woman. And so I'm really excited to introduce her to you today.
Hi, everybody. My name is Leyla. Thank you for that incredible introduction. I hope the camera catches me blushing.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you opening up kind of your life story and your vibe. To tell you a little bit about how we got to know each other, I found Nail Fairy on ClassPass. And when I walked in, I didn't really know what to expect because there were no reviews on ClassPass at the time. And when I walked in, whoa, why is the interior design so cool? Usually the nail salons I find on ClassPass are very, very simple, simple design. It's hard to find nail techs that specialize in such unique artwork, especially on ClassPass. So when I walked in and I saw the interior design, this is going to be a good manicure. I was only planning on getting something basic done, but I'll put a closer up picture of the manicures I've gotten done here. But yeah, all of the nail fairies here are so talented. And I'm so interested in how you ended up in this space, where you're from. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. I actually do remember that you commented that you trust us only because you saw the interior design. And that was kind of funny and very pleasing to hear at the same time. So yeah, this is our second studio. We just opened up a few months ago, and this was a super exciting occasion. Everybody was super excited about it. A couple of our nail techs actually from Brooklyn started working here instead, which was closer to them, more convenient. And the whole Nail Fairy, I guess, started off with the fact that we do quality manicures. And I was always into designs and creative stuff. And right now in New York, as far as I can notice and understand, people either offer a quality, you get a quality manicure that lasts for a pretty long time, they clean your cuticle and stuff like that, or they give you a creative manicure. So it's either or. And I figured this is going to be a good way to find people that are able to provide both.
Yeah, I think you really hit the nail on your head because in my review and in my TikTok, I said it's really hard to find a place that does Russian dry file manicure, which is the perfect manicure you're ever going to get, and cool nail art, because both are so labor intensive and also require a very high level of knowledge and skill. I actually tried doing my own hard gel extensions by myself for a good year. So I know when I see Tacy do my nails, she knows what she's doing, because I actually haven't really been back to a nail salon in a very long time because I just don't trust my nail techs to take care of my nails really well. But I came here and this was the first time I trust them more than I trust myself. So
yeah, she's super precise. Whenever I see her work on somebody, I'm like, oh, okay, she knows what she's doing.
Exactly. I was like, this girl is just as OCD as I am. That's how I know it's real. But I'm kind of curious about that. How did you find all of these talented nail techs? How did you build this amazing Russian dry file specialized manicure empire? Because she also teaches classes on top of owning and operating these two studios. That's really impressive. I remember meeting you and thinking why is she so mysterious, young, successful, and beautiful. Like,
Aw.
it's very impressive.
Thank you. I think it's a lifetime journey to find the right people because people come and go. And like, for instance, we had our first studio, and the first people that I hired in our team, it was an incredible team. We gathered incredibly talented girls that had the same vision as we did, and it worked out super well. But then the New Year's hit, and they decided to move on and build their own career, or just stop doing nails for some reason as well, because they wanted to go to college and like some other reasons. And one of the girls is actually becoming a tattoo artist, which is really cool. I'm excited for her. And I guess the fact that I also have a school, it lets me to teach people in the proper way that I actually want them to do nails. And I also noticed that a lot of people, they see my work, and that's how they decide to come to my school. And most of the times they're also creative people that want to learn. At the end of the day, they want to learn how to create designs on top of the quality manicures. So I think this was a good decision to create a school and to pass my knowledge along, because I also like to explain and teach people how to do it. And initially, when I opened the first studio, I was training them how to use proper products, how to create certain textures, how to work with colors and everything else. And that's when I realized that I actually have the knowledge that I can pass along. And after that, I opened up a school, and the school actually let me to have incredible people in my team as well.
I'm kind of curious, like, where did you acquire all this knowledge from? Like, tell us about the beginning of like you and discovering like your career in nails.
Surprisingly, I was never interested in nails. Like, I wouldn't even get manicures that often myself. I always like very natural look, just clean, simple, and that's it. What we end up with a few years later. Never have a simple manicure at all now. But yeah, I was a full-time student in college, and I was always working part-time at different jobs, only because they couldn't, my schedule wouldn't be able to suit a proper job every half a year. And one of the thoughts that I had, why don't I study how to do manicures? Because one of my friends was doing manicures at that time, and I went to be her model at the class, at a course that she was taking. And it seemed pretty interesting, and the whole environment, I really fell in love with this. And I decided to take the same path and go to the same instructor as she had. And after that, it was only 3 days long. And then after that, I realized that I sucked. I sucked, and I gave up everything. I fell into a little depression for like a week. I was like, oh, I couldn't make it. But no, then after that, I think a few months passed, and I decided to try it again, and it went pretty well, like really good. I was so happy about myself. And then I think after I nailed the actual manicure itself, just like regular clean colors, clean look, everything was done properly. After that, I think I started practicing drawing on tips, on like samples most of the times, and then offering it to my clients. And that's how we started creating art on nails.
Amazing. So you mentioned that you started doing this kind of in COVID. So were you in college during COVID?
I was in college during COVID. I graduated with a bachelor's in general biology, and I wanted to go work in a hospital or something like that. But COVID happened, and I didn't really want to spend a lot of time there. And I realized that that's not the type of job that I want to actually have, only because I want to travel, and it seems like it's a lot of responsibility that you have when you work in the medical field.
Yeah.
So I realized that nails were still my part-time job at that moment. And once I was graduating, okay, let me actually dedicate my whole attention to manicures and everything like that. So I started building my Instagram page, and I was working from home at that time during COVID, because all the salons were closed at the same time as well.
Right,
so
yeah.
I was slowly starting to take clients from home, and everything was like sterile. I remember everybody was wearing masks, and I was wiping doorknobs with the sterile wipes. But yeah, it was fun. I remember I had this small little room Everything was painted in a dark color, and I also had one Sphinx cat at that time. I have now two cute little Sphinx cats.
Sphinx mama.
Yeah, Sphinx mama. So yeah, that little kitty at that time would sit on my clients' laps, and they would just like pet
Oh my god,
pet
that's
the
so
cat
cute.
and wait for the next appointment only to see the cat and do their nails at the same time. Yeah.
What's your Sphinx's name again?
Thunder.
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 Oh,
Yeah,
Thunder
he's
the nail
great.
salon cat.
he was a nail salon cat.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
cute.
beautiful story. Honestly, I've always wanted to have that kind of intimate friendship with my nail tech. Like, oh, I go over to her studio or her house and we can catch up. And I've always wanted to see the same person with my nails and to build that trust over time. I just never found a girl that could do my nails right until recently. But Tacey doesn't
Welcome.
really speak much English. So I'm like, good to see you again.
She understands. I
Okay.
see her picking up, but yeah, she
Okay.
understands more. But sometimes
Mhm.
it's hard for her to
Yeah.
explain things. But yeah,
Yeah, I can tell. But she's so sweet and she
Yeah,
does my
yeah.
nails so well.
her facial expressions usually say everything for
Yeah.
her. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so you started in college. Wait, so can I ask how old you are?
I'm 25.
Me too. Wait, that is so impressive that you're 25 and you own 2 salons. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was actually very sudden. I
Uh-huh.
opened the first studio last year in March. We're actually hitting 1 year anniversary this month.
Ooh.
And this studio opened up. I signed the lease on December 1st. So technically, I signed both leases at the same year. And funny that I never even thought of doing any type of entrepreneurship, business ownership,
and here
stuff
you
like
are.
that. And yeah, just everything changed. I think something has changed in my mindset.
Mhm.
And after that, I just went a different path.
Yeah. How are you liking it so far?
I'm loving it. This is amazing. I'm still trying to learn a lot of stuff. I think I'll be learning a lot of things throughout my life, but it's definitely fun. I like
Yeah.
to explore new things. I like to try new things, and I think this is this type of lifestyle gives me those opportunities.
Yeah, speaking of which, that reminds me of after my last manicure, you had told me about how you were heading to Japan. She was like, yeah, I booked a flight to Japan to get my nails done. I was like, girl, what? You're flying to another country to get your nails done?
To get my
She's
nails
like,
done.
I mean, yeah, it's part of your business to like learn
Yeah.
the best techniques, right?
Yeah, and actually we're kind of friends on social media, so it's like I'm excited to see those people that have been friends. We've been liking each other posts and like commenting like, hey, you're doing such a great job. I mean, it felt really nice, and now I'm actually scheduling an appointment to see that person and let them create something on my nails. Super excited about it and meet those people at the same time, because they create some crazy stuff on nails, and I'm really curious, like, what's inside of that person's head? Like, how do they even come up with that thing?
Do you mind sharing that person's like Instagram or handle?
Yeah, of course. So the studio is called Studio Sacre, and the nail artist that I scheduled an appointment with, his name is Iki, double K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Wow. That's so cool that you have like an international community of
International.
nail artists that kind of work together on things like this.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of people throughout the world. I think that we kind of know about each other by just social media, seeing each other's stuff. If you try to replicate their work, you also tag them, and they really love that. Kind of makes you closer.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, I had kind of asked you this like after the last manicure, but you know, you're surrounded by all these creative people and you create such amazing like original artwork. Where do you get that inspiration from?
That's a good question. I think a lot of things influence that. Such things as I like to visit art galleries, and I really love modern art. Music as well influences me in many ways, even just opening my phone, going on Spotify, and they have these incredible artworks as an album cover and stuff like that, and we try to replicate it on the actual nail. A lot of chrome and 3D, Y2K stuff has been really trendy, and I think music has been one of the inspirations that we get it from. I also used to study. So after I graduated college, I decided that I'm going to take a boot camp when there was COVID and everybody was happy about working in IT world. Let me go and try to take a boot camp and become a UX and UI designer. And that's when I realized that I really love graphic design. So I started taking Illustrator course, Photoshop or Figma, and just trying to recreate some kind of graphic posters. And then I discovered Blender, where you can recreate 3D prints and stuff like that, just like 3D rendering. And after I opened up a first studio, I started creating playlists for the studio so that we can actually oh my god so that we can actually play that music in the studio. And I was playing around with Blender to recreate some kind of nail fairy logos in 3D and Chrome type for the playlists. It was kind of fun.
Wow, you're truly a creative. And it's not just nails, that's the medium. It's like any medium. You're like graphic design, nails, music, and I see the vision. I have to say, like the interior design. Like you've curated such a quirky and funky but very identifiable aesthetic. And I'm kind of curious about like how those like visual inspirations for you. I see there's like Hieronymus Bosch in the background. Like it's very like futuristic, almost cyberpunk, like surreal kind of a vibe.
Yeah, Bosch, actually, I have that piece since I'm 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a gift from my mom when she was traveling in Europe, and she brought it to me, and I kept it, and I figured that it's going to match, actually, this location.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, those pieces are funny.
Have you always been kind of like had an artistic touch? Because you studied biology, but did you ever consider like going down the art path?
I always wanted to, but I'm from a third world country where art is not really that much. It doesn't really has that much opportunities.
Yeah.
And I feel like in New York, you can actually do whatever you want. You can become whoever you want. And this is where I started to be more expressive about art and just like self-expression. Because also in our country right now, people are expressing themselves more and more, but back in the day you couldn't really express your feelings that loudly. You couldn't really dress out that much. And in New York, I think even if you're walking outside on the streets, just look around at those people, and they're such a big inspiration for outfits. Or I always try to notice their nails, their accessories. I really love accessories on people.
Yeah, people really show up and show out. And that's also a big reason why I moved here. And I'm really glad first of all, thank you for being vulnerable too about like kind of the influences that you had growing up. And I feel very similarly. And I think a lot of our listeners feel similarly as well, that they had to make trade-offs with like their passions or their personalities in order to, pursue the American dream. Like similarly, my parents are from China. Like my mom grew up in like Cultural Revolution. There's like a ration on eggs kind of a situation. So like, actually, I don't know if I told you this, but growing up, like when I was really little, my dream job was to be a nail artist.
Really?
But then someone in my school told me that like I wouldn't have a really good life if I did that. I don't know. And I was like, okay. And then of course, I brought up art school or fashion school before, and my mom was kind of just like, So I studied computer science, and here I am working a tech job.
No, I think that's a great job to have right now.
No, for sure. I am really grateful, and it affords me like the salary to be able to partake in the arts and like come here and get my nails done once a month. Like that is such a luxury, especially with like these quality of manicures. Like they're not cheap. Like it requires, like I said, a level of technical excellence and also this creative curation that's hard to come by. Yeah, actually, when I decided that I'm not gonna
go to the medical school because that's what my parents wanted me to do,
Mm-hmm.
go to the medical school. And I was doing nails, and they were like, really? This is what you're going to do? Nails?
Well, here she is owning 2 locations.
Yeah, I think they're proud of me now.
Mm.
Like, I visited my home country a few months ago, and I finally met my dad, first time in 10 years.
Wow.
And yeah, we connected the first time in like such a long time.
Yeah.
And I could actually like see it in his eyes that he was proud. Yeah, that felt really nice.
That's crazy because like you left like 10 years ago. You were 15.
15.
Wow.
15.
And you came back, you're 25.
25. I was
Like you left a child and you came back like
Yeah.
a fully grown woman.
Yeah. But he didn't
Wow.
change. Like, that's so interesting. Like, it's the same person.
Yeah. What was
Wow.
that? Did you move here like by yourself or?
No, I moved here with my mom
Uh-huh.
because I was underage.
Okay,
so
right.
she was like, decided to
Uh-huh.
move here with me. But I think she also wanted to move to America.
Mhm.
She's like more of a progressive
Uh-huh.
type of woman, I would say. So in some kind of way, she also influenced me.
Mm.
She was also always a businesswoman, so I think I also was
Mm.
looking after her. And yeah, she moved me here because I asked her to. She had a traveling agency, and we would travel with her a lot.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, but mostly in Asia. I also have an older brother. We would travel like one time he would travel, and the second time I would travel, and like back and forth.
Mm.
So whatever. America was my. It was my time to travel to America, and I fell in love. We came back to Uzbekistan, and I was realizing that I'm gonna be graduating high school soon,
Mhm.
and I asked her to move me here.
First of
Yeah.
all, period, girl boss. We love a mom that is an entrepreneur too.
Yeah.
My mom's a real estate agent, or
Oh.
was. She recently retired. But yeah, so being a real estate agent is kind of entrepreneurial as well because like you have to like
100%.
you own your own like book of clients and like it was very interesting like being raised by a woman who, and I think part of it is like for her like a survival thing. Like she made it to the US
Mm-hmm.
after like a pretty honestly like traumatic time like living in China. And
How old was she?
yeah, so she was in her mid-20s when she
Oh.
moved. Yeah, she moved when she married my dad. Yeah, and she was like, well, I want nice things and I feel bad like making him pay for it, so I'm just gonna make a lot of money.
Nice.
And she like barely speaks English. It's honestly really impressive.
Wow.
Where did you end up moving to? Was it New York?
It was New York. Yes, it was New York right away. And I don't know why. It was just the only city that I considered to move to.
Mhm.
And we moved to Queens for the first time.
Mm,
And I hated it. I was like, no, I don't want to be here.
Like you were expecting Manhattan, weren't you? Right?
Yeah, I think I was expecting Manhattan, but I didn't feel safe there only because like I would be walking home, and a lot of times somebody would follow me to the train station,
Oh
or
my
somebody would
God.
follow me on the car. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
So
that
it's
is
like-
really scary.
yeah.
Hmm.
Nobody spoke any type of Russian, which is
Oh,
my
that must have
first
been
language.
really hard.
Yeah, and I was like, I kind of knew English when I moved here, so
Mhm.
I felt kind of comfortable to explain and understand what I actually want and blah, blah, blah. But to have a comfortable conversation like we are having right
Yeah.
now, I don't think I would be able to.
Wow.
But yeah, and nobody knew where Uzbekistan is except for my history teacher.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier in the podcast, maybe I should put up a map in case some
Yeah,
of these
yeah.
people don't know where it is.
Just in case, if you open your phone, it's in Central Asia, and you have to zoom in order to see
Hmm.
that it's Uzbekistan.
Is it north or south of Tajikistan?
Yeah. We actually cross borders.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we cross borders.
Nice. And is the primary language there Russian?
We have our national language, which is Uzbek,
Mm-hmm.
but I grew up studying in a Russian school, so our
Mhm.
main language was Russian, and that's the language that we also communicate in our family.
Mm.
I do know fluently Uzbek language as well. I love it, and I think it's a beautiful language. The only thing I don't get to practice it at all
Mm.
because there is not many people that I know that speaks this language.
Yeah.
Russian language is pretty common only because of the Soviet Union, and everybody used to
yeah.
speak Russian. But
Yeah.
it's over. They're actually started to rename all the cities, and even if you go to some kind of like government departments and stuff like that, people started speaking Uzbek instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Reclaim. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of like Russian and like the Russian manicure, why do you think that that is such a phenomenon?
I guess people get really surprised by how precisely the polish is being applied, how clean your cuticle is, and how long the manicure actually lasts. I think people are surprised also sometimes that you have to spend more time during the manicure while you sit at the appointment. But once you get used to it, it's kind of like normal for you, because if you want to get a quality, you have to understand that you have to spend a little bit more time. But people actually started calling Russian manicure a Russian manicure recently, maybe just like a year ago or so, only because it started being so popular. People are doing it more and more, and only Russian-speaking people are providing this service. So I guess this is why people started calling this Russian manicure. Like, for instance, Tassie is from Belarus. I'm from Uzbekistan. We all speak Russian language, but we're not Russians. So I guess this is where the name came from. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I was just personally very curious about how that came to be, because I also noticed like the last year, all of a sudden, this is like a really big thing. I was like, oh, interesting.
Have you heard about it before?
I've seen like, I had heard about it before on like nail forums, because back when I tried to do my own nails, I was like hearing about this magic manicure, about how like, don't attempt to do it yourself. You're going to like fuck up your nails. Like you have to go to like a Russian manicure technician. So actually this place was the first place I had ever gotten a Russian manicure. I was similarly astounded at how much work went into the like nail prep and health part before you even apply polish. Yeah.
I also think whenever you do nail art, you have to be able to work a little bit faster, because by the end of I remember there was one amazing artist that traveled from Montreal to New York to do nails. I also scheduled an appointment with her. Cindy, her name is. Incredible girl as well, and an artist. And I spent 4.5 hours just getting my nails done there. And it wasn't Russian gel manicure. It was just like American type of gel manicure with the creative touch to it. Incredible job. But 4.5 hours, I was going a little bit insane already. But we had a really cool conversation. We kept on talking throughout this whole time, so it felt really good.
Yeah. It's that, nail tech friendship that we all hope to have. But no, that's the thing. Like, perfection cannot be rushed. Actually, I saw that other review on ClassPass. One was like, this took way too long. And I was like, you shouldn't rush perfection. Like, you don't realize that you're having like a very unique manicure experience. I think that's the other part, is like some people don't understand like the nuance behind the different types of manicures. Like maybe they come in for a manicure and they're expecting something simple, and they get this like amazing manicure and they're like, whoa, like what is this?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We actually reached out to that girl to offer her our top artist, because she didn't choose the top artist initially. So of course that person will be working a little bit slower. And I guess whenever you're working in a business, you also have to be customer oriented, which we 100% are. I truly value the reputation and truly want our clients to actually enjoy their nails. So if anything happens wrong, or like you damage your nails throughout the week or something, it's completely free to come fix it and stuff like that. But we offered her to try our top artist for free, and nope, it was still too long for her. She just wanted quickie.
Some people just have different expectations, but for me, for the crazies like me, like I would sit down for like a 4 or 5 hour manicure and be happy about it. So you've already garnered a lot of like success, started a second location, you have this thriving Instagram and like social media and a lot of attention on your designs. Like, what do you hope for next for Nail Fairy?
That's a really cool question. We're trying, let's say our purpose is to try and create some kind of community of first of all, having our own community of fairies, of people that are into nail industry, any type of fashion industry. We're trying to introduce more and more services to our business. Like, for instance, now we're doing eyelash extensions, and we're also going to be introducing tooth gems soon.
Oh,
yeah, so I think
fun.
that's going to be fun. Maybe a start. We're also working right now with communicating with one of the tattoo artists as well. So I think we're just trying to gather creative people together that are able to actually provide a good service to our clients, and also trying to create some kind of community with our clients as well. I do believe we do share common interests.
Yeah.
If you want to come here and you like the service, so we might have something in common as well. And I think in the future, we really want to start hosting some kind of events. One of the trial events was in December when we just opened the studio. It was like our grand opening, and actually that painting is the painting that one our clients together painted, which is like super nice to look at it
so
and
cute.
like memorize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like throw some kind of events and create a community, offer a nice service, be creative together.
I love that. I feel like a growing, I don't want to say trend, but cultural shift is this idea of like membership clubs, and the idea of like creating community spaces for people who have like-minded ideas and preferences and thoughts. I definitely saw it with Nail Fairy, especially on your story with like the DJing, and it is a very beautiful like group of people that you've gathered here. The girl who's going to get her nails done is also the girl who wants to get her lashes done, who also like likes to have cool tattoos, who like, yeah, I think you really hit on a really beautiful like intersection of all these different interests. Yeah, very cool.
Thank you.
Speaking of all the collaborations and the growth of Nail Fairy into other sectors of like beauty and fashion, what do you see as the intersection between nail art and fashion?
I think there is a very big intersection between nails and fashion itself. A lot of different fashion projects and fashion shows, I started to notice that they're more and more starting to do actual art on their nails, because previously when I used to work on the runway shows, they would hire nail artists that actually provide a very amazing work, but they would ask you to do just nude nails. And it would be just so heart-wrenching. It's like you're working on a huge brand, you're so excited about it, but then they're like, oh, here are 60 people do their manicures in 2 hours, just nude nails, no nothing else. And you're like, really?
What about the chrome and like the 3D nail art and the gems and like all the like really cool stuff that you can bring to the table?
Yeah. But I think recently I started to notice that people more and more started having something on their nails during their runway show. Like, for instance, recently, I think it was last week, Mugler had their runway show, and one of the girls, her name is Freaky Nails on Instagram, she created a lot of press-on nails for them. So people prepare it in advance because it takes so much time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they prepare it for them in advance and ship it to them so that they actually have some kind of cool art on their nails, all the models, which was really cool.
I love that. Yeah, you do seem like a Mugler girl, by the way. It's like the same kind of vibe. That's really cool. Can you talk to us a little bit about the editorial work that you've done? Because you showed me some clips and it looked really amazing.
Yes. One of the recent ones was for Saks Fifth Avenue and their collaboration with Dior. We were creating, that was hands-on experience mostly. We were creating art on their nails with Dior products. They do have really nice quality polishes. They're not gel, they're regular polishes, but still really nice quality. I was happy to be able to work with such product. The one before that was for RebelMac. The only thing I don't like working for editorials is that you have to wait for your project to come out for half a year or so. Like for instance, we worked for RebelMac a year ago, and only a few months ago we got the pictures and stuff like that, and like even other projects that you're working on, and sometimes you're not really allowed to tell anybody, because the magazine didn't come out yet and something like that. But for that For that project, me and my other girl, she was helping me out to create some kind of art. We had 5 different looks, and the model sent us a picture of her hand with a coin next to all of her fingers so that we could measure press-ons exactly to her nail shape. And based off the pictures of her outfits, we created the nail art. I really like when they don't really have any type of restrictions and they just send you this is the outfit, you create whatever you want to create. But sometimes they do have creative directors that are very particular about it. I am super happy about it as well, because sometimes they make you think in a different way, not something normally that you would have done, which is nice. But sometimes it's also nice to have your freedom.
Is there like a fashion collaboration that you think that is like a dream collab for you that you think would go really well with your vibe?
I think as of now in my head is Gentle Monster, only because they've been killing it.
Yeah, you mentioned you were working on something like that.
Yeah, I did. I actually did a manicure that looks like their sunglasses with like hearts, with jelly hearts and stars. It was cool.
Very cute. Yeah. No, their marketing has been so interesting. The whole like Gentle Monster High School with the like sparkly glasses on the side. I've been seeing those everywhere. I think it's really cool.
Have you seen them in real life? Like, have you seen people rocking them?
I have, yeah. Walking around New York.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I only saw it once or twice.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's an expensive pair of glasses.
Yeah.
Wait, I have another question. I want to talk about your DJing, because I saw like a story of it and I was like, she's so cool. I also DJ, by the way.
You do?
Yeah, house music.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long are you DJing for?
I learned in college. So I learned when I was, like 21 from my friend who was like really into it. But I was never that good at it until I moved to San Francisco. And my roommate at the time was really into it.
Wow.
So we would like DJ like
back
at least
back?
Yeah, back to back, and it was so fun. And now he like makes great mixes on SoundCloud and things like that, and I picked it up a lot more even when I came to New York. And I used to live in Williamsburg and I had a rooftop.
Nice.
And so I would like do little rooftop parties from time to time.
That sounds super fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. Next time it happens, I'll invite you.
I'll be happy to come.
I'll be honored. But what kind of music do you like to DJ? And you kind of mentioned this earlier. You know, the music also kind of inspires you.
Yeah. I mostly come from a techno scene. Anything techno, really, I've been liking for a very long time. I'm not too particular about the genre. I can DJ any type of electronic music, but most of the times I concentrate on industrial techno. Yeah. I had this thought and I lost it again, but music and okay. Yeah, so I've been DJing for maybe past 2 years or so. I think I also started exploring that type of world during the quarantine, since there was like no parties to go to and nothing else to do. So I figured, let me actually like order a mixer and try to learn it myself. I was never that good at it until recently. I think I started picking up more and dedicating more time. I was actually DJing yesterday and recording my live set. Yeah, I think every time I'm on my way home and like on my way to the first location and the second location, I just try to put my headphones on and try to create playlists. And then once I get back home, I try to mix a little bit. But I think music has a really big influence in fashion in general. Yeah. Even watching runway shows, I think all the music that they use nowadays is type of electronic music. Yeah. And even recently, I was also watching a Prada show, and their composer was I Hate Models. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he is one of my favorite artists from industrial music. And they asked him to compose the whole music for the runway, which was really cool.
Very cool. Yeah. Do you have any interest in like DJing events like that?
I think I would be curious. Definitely. I would be curious to try once I get more confidence, I think. I think after I started like DJing in public little by little and feeling more comfortable about it, especially after recording podcasts and stuff like that for like to post on SoundCloud. Yeah, that would be fun.
Do you have a SoundCloud handle that you don't have to share if you don't want to, but I would happily listen.
I'm actually not sure what's my SoundCloud handle, but I'll be more than happy to share it. Let's see. Oh, okay. It's Leyla M.
Leyla M. So if you're
Leyla
interested
M.
in techno, check her out.
Those are techno nails. It looks like techno nails.
Yeah, these do look like techno nails.
With like the red light reflecting in the back of you.
I've never really been to like a techno rave.
Never?
No, I've always kind of been curious. I have a friend that lives in Amsterdam, and she's like, Karina, next time you come here.
Is she going to Awakenings festival? Or because it's in Amsterdam, there's the biggest techno festival that takes place there. It's called
She
Awakenings.
says that. She's like, yeah, next time you come here, like we got to go to a techno rave. But like techno's not usually her thing, but I can see myself getting pretty into it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love house music itself.
Yeah.
I love house. I mean, I love any type of music in general. I think any genre I enjoy, but techno for some reason just took the bigger part in my life. There's a lot of techno scenes in New York City. I think if it's not New York City in America, then it has to be in Europe somewhere.
Yeah. Where in New York do you recommend if someone wants to go to like a good techno spot?
Good techno spot. Definitely Basement.
Okay. I waited in line in Basement in like
They
the
didn't let you in?
freezing cold. No, it was like the line was just too long. By like 20 minutes in, it was so cold outside,
Yeah,
and we were like
fair.
not dressed right. So we gave up and we went to go get a Basement.
Basement, yeah. It's usually their line is not that long, and especially like once it gets super cold, they try to create a line in knockdown center so that you wait in the warm area, unless they have an event in knockdown center at the same time. But yeah, I think that's the go-to place right now. They actually have a studio, like the second room that opened up, and they play house music there.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so it's like more fun for like people that don't really listen to such an intense music. They can listen to something lighter.
I really wanted to go to Boiler Room this year, but I didn't get on the tickets fast enough.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it still on sale or no? They sold out?
It's all sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might pop up, or like maybe somebody's gonna be reselling, but
yeah.
What about you? What's your best place to go to for like night out?
I really like, it's a place actually kind of close to Basement. Not that close. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking? It's close to House of Yes, but I've never been to House of Yes.
I've been to House of Yes. It was quite an experience.
Yeah. I've heard they have like interesting entertainment there.
They do, but on the night that I visited, it's just like the environment itself is just, I don't know, kind of playful.
Interesting. I'm trying to figure out like what is this place called. I saw Salute there. I don't know if you're familiar with Salute. It's more like UK Garage. I really like UK Garage.
I like UK Garage.
I really wanted to go to Sammy Vergie. Oh, Elsewhere. I like Elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, actually, shout out to Undermine that are hosting a party at Elsewhere. It's going to be on April 12th.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
April 12th.
Come.
Promo. This is the shout out.
Promo. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, Leyla.
Yeah. Thank you, Karina.
Yeah.
This was really a fun time.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And I think this was such an interesting like story to unravel about, how you built this whole thing and where you're going with it. And I'm really excited to keep up with you and see your vision come to life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to have you again and create for you.
Yeah. We'll see you next Monday, guys. And if you have a chance to, check out Nail Fairy.
Bye.
Bye.